Okay, so this is a solid waste recycling committee meeting, special meeting on November 21. It's 7 o'clock.
Oh, you thought it was over there.
So we're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And if we remember our servicemen, these veterans who have given their lives and their time and their energy for our country. Okay, thank you. Okay, so we have all the commissioners, if we could just identify ourselves. Josephine is here remote, and Andrew Becker is also here remote. My name's Hugh Dolan, the chairman.
Joseph Pagnosi.
John Cattell, Assistant Director of Public Works.
Hi, John.
Tim Besler.
Tim.
Misty Byer.
Misty.
Michael Pasowitz.
Hi, Michael. And Andrew.
Thank you. Sorry, I'm
You
not
with
feeling
us?
too well, so I wanted to just do remote.
Okay, and Josephine is recording, right, Joe?
I am, yep.
Okay, thank you.
Well, I'm not recording the tennis, but anyway.
Yeah, okay. The minutes of previous meeting? Any comments on the minutes of October meeting?
On that meeting, the tip fees in Hollingville said that they were saved. Is that still true?
The what?
The tipping fees in Hollingville course which have been saved. That's what it said. That's what it said in that last meeting. Is that still a fact now? That's still true?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
What?
I'm not. Well, you have a copy of the minutes?
I don't have it on here.
I guess that's what was discussed then. Yeah, tipping fees.
Well, that's going to be one of the subjects for John
okay,
tonight.
but that's okay then in that meeting.
Yep.
That was correct.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
That's all I'm asking.
Yep.
If the wording was proper. Okay. Yeah, sure. I wrote it down.
Misty, any comments on
All right. Good.
the minutes?
I have no comment.
Okay, Mike.
We're okay.
No.
Okay,
I
motion.
read them, they seem fine.
Yeah.
Okay, motion.
Make a motion to approve the minutes of October 17, 2022.
Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Any abstain? Any object? No, the motion carries. Okay.
Who seconded, Hugh?
Did you second?
Who made the motion?
I'll second it.
Tim will second. Joe?
Joe made the motion and
Oh,
Tim
Joe,
seconded it.
Joe made the motion. Okay, got it. Thanks.
John, status on the food waste program?
Let me get back to my,
Oh, what order do you want to go into? We have 4 things that you're going to cover, so.
I'll start with the improvements,
Okay, transfer station improvements. Okay.
So this is, we pretty much got our traffic flow, set up, which you've been down there at all.
Yep.
Yeah. How's that working for everybody?
We've had positive feedback from most people that I know of. It's a one-way direction, which I think helps everybody. It keeps the residents away from the commercial haulers, which I think everybody's happy about that. It kind of gives us a good oversight of the operations. We have the guy that used to be down at the booth on the street, would now be located on top, so he can give guidance and more oversight and assuring compliance. Every once in a while, you'll get a car who doesn't know what they're doing, which will go up towards the commercial haulers will drop off, and it kind of stands out like a sore thumb now that they obviously didn't either go through the scale house like they're supposed to. So that helps enforce that direction. So as far as I know, it's been working out pretty well. We still have our single stream containers on the lower level. We are in the process of filling in and building a wall where the metal collection will eventually be. Right now, we're have an open top trailer where recycling will be relocated to for the residents. And as soon as we can construct a wall and continue filling in, we'll move the single stream recycling from the residents to the top, and then we can eliminate a lot of those lower containers.
Where's that wall gonna be for the metal collection?
It's, we're fixing up the wall, because the problem is, when this thing was built, they built it for these, I'll call them chutes, to put, your containers in.
Yeah.
They were set for like a 40-foot, 40-yard container. Well, we're filling up trailers, so if you put a trailer in the chute, you only have access to half open top trailer instead of the full length of the trailer.
So you have to put it in and then move it?
But you can't get to the front of it because
Oh,
there's only one spot that you can, which is currently where the metal is and which is labeled as the new recycling location. So one of the chutes we actually have to sacrifice and fill up to the top instead of having the pit to where it would go in lower. So that you can now have access to the full width or length of the trailer when you put a trailer in. That's number one. The other item is when they built it, the depth of the containers that they were going to put down into it is way too far. So it's 18 feet deep,
Yeah.
where you're having to fill it up and raise it up about 6 feet or so that the top of the trailer is near the top of the wall. It also allows them to pack it down and reach it. So some modifications going on with that to make it a little...
To pack it down from the top, you mean?
Yeah, open top trailer.
But at this time, people are still putting the metal objects against that concrete wall?
Correct, and then they're putting, right now, they're putting them against the one concrete wall, and then we pick them up with the equipment and put it into the open top trailer.
What about the electronics? Are they still-
Electronics is still in the same location.
And that's on the way out, kind
On
of?
the way out.
Okay. Yeah.
We have 2 cardboard locations, one container that go up and into the ramp for the residents, and then we have another one just at the very end before you exit the transfer station in case people bring a lot of their stuff in the cardboard and they empty out the contents, and then they can still get rid of the cardboard to recycle.
can I ask you just one little quick question? Lisa used to pull out a lot of stuff from those recycle bins, and that was contaminated, obviously.
Right.
But are you expecting the oversight now to be in Enviro, just sort of keeping an eye on?
No,
what's
it's still, well, it's everybody, but it's mainly, our attendant that gives the oversight. Once that single stream recycling is relocated to the top, to the open top trailer, the attendant who is up there now, we've already, transferred them from the street to the top, has a better eyesight on it to assure compliance. So you don't get the mattresses people stuffing the mattress into a 2-by-2 foot hole or something into a recycling bin.
I saw a
Or
job,
bag of food waste or something like that they throw in there with it.
I saw a job announcement that the town put out for another attendant down there. Is that for the
Right. So
scale house?
that's it's a scale house operator / attendant. It's a part-time job.
Is that to replace the one that's there, or?
No, it's to fill one who left a while ago. So we have a total of 5 part-timers, positions funded, and then Lisa, who's our full-time. We currently only have 4 part-time, and I put in for the budget last fiscal year, which for this current year, to fund the 5 positions, to give you 2 people on all the time, one at the top, one at the bottom, and gives Lisa the ability to relieve each other as well as address other items. So we're still waiting to fill it. A lot of people are looking for a full-time. We've gotten some applications in. and most of them like, well, I thought it was a full-time job. So, I mean, it's an ideal position for someone who's retired and wants to work a few hours a week. But if you're looking for benefits or something like that, full-time,
So you don't have budget for another full-time person?
no. All the scale house operators attendants are part-timers,
Okay.
limited to,
No benefits?
19 and a half hours
Oh,
a
okay.
week,
Yeah.
with no benefits.
Okay.
And plus lease.
John, what happened to the budget from when Mike left for his full-time position?
His position was eliminated along with
Audrey?
Audrey, and those responsibilities were put on the Assistant Director of Public Works, which is myself, in addition to other responsibilities.
But that was obviously a large budget item for 2 full-time employees. That got completely removed from the solid waste side budget.
Correct, but then also was added, Lisa, who is the lead scale house operator, to be a full-time position.
Got it.
Any other questions on, transfer station improvements?
I have others, that kind of goes with those items. We've been addressing some of the items that I put in for the bonding. We put out, an RFP to repair the stairs.
That's the internal stairs?
Internal stairway from the lower level to the upper level. We received 3 bids. I think 2 of them were qualifying, but they were more than twice what was from our original estimates that we received.
Those are all concrete, right? Those are all concrete
No,
stairs?
it's metal stairwell,
Oh, okay,
galvanized metal.
okay.
So we're gonna put that back out to bid again, and maybe hopefully get a couple others that might not reply. We sent it out to about 6 or 7, and we only had 3 responses, 2 that were qualified.
So you had 2 qualified responses but they were over.
Yeah, they were more than double what the estimates from the engineering firm that did our specs who went out, as well as an estimate that I got before we ever started the project.
That's pretty typical right now.
So,
In my business as well.
yeah, so
Yeah.
it's,
So you'll rebid it. You're
so
not
we're gonna
work.
rebid that. I'm also looking at overhead doors, and I got a quote, which is on state bid, and that item is well over what was, not double, but over what was estimated at the time based on numbers we had.
Well,
So I have some contingency in it, but we'll have to figure some of this stuff out.
I mean,
When
is
is your
there-
position going to go, sort of permanent rather than temporary? No?
My position.
So what's the question?
Are you temporary?
No, I'm permanent.
Are you permanent now?
Unless you heard something I did.
I thought it was,
We just heard something in the hallway.
Yeah, but he's in.
Yeah, but he's a full-time.
I'm a
he's
full-time-
assistant
yeah, but
public
what's your
works director.
title?
Assistant Director of
Assistant
Public
Director.
Works,
Why aren't you the director of public works?
because we have a director.
And who's that?
That's John
John.
Rosillo.
Okay, John Messina, all right. I'm just.
I'm the assistant.
The other thing, can we get a budget printout somehow? Can we get a budget, yearly budget of the whole thing?
I can get you one.
Did you request one?
Yeah, okay.
We should get this.
I can give you one. You want,
We should get this
the
over.
current one? I can give you the
Yeah,
current
we
one.
can send it out, yeah. Be nice to get.
I have a question. Is there any reasonable expectation that you're going to, I mean, the estimates for these stairs, who was the engineer for this? Well, someone you know,
Luke's, I think.
Yeah.
There was a design engineer to study the whole complex.
We had a design engineer doing the whole complex, then I had an engineering firm.
So it was specific for that, for the stairwell.
To give me my drawings that I could put out, to bid.
Because I just wonder if there's any reasonable expectation you're gonna get a better bid. Because that doesn't happen
I'll have
very
to work
often.
around it if that's the case.
Yeah.
Are we changing the bid at all?
No.
Is there any changes in it? 'Cause
We get others that find out why some of the others did not bid. Or
But-
send it.
aren't we at some sort of liability that we have to go with one of the qualified bids if we're not changing the contents
Yes,
of the
no, we
bid?
have a liability issue that we have to accept one of the bids that are being offered.
No, we don't have to accept any of the bids. We can reissue the bid. We're able to do that. Purchasing is on that. That was in discussion with the purchasing director to, make sure that he's the one who puts out the bid, the rebid.
Josephine and, can you both hear us okay? Andrew?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay.
Yep.
Yep, I can.
I'm always concerned that you're not hearing everything. Okay.
You asked for a copy of,
Well, I think this should be presented to the commission every year.
That's our current
Yeah.
year-to-date.
Something like, we used to get it all the time.
That's published in the.
Yeah, it's online.
It's on the website.
I know, but it doesn't come to mind, unless we present it here to the commission.
John will give us a copy, you'll give us.
I'll give you a copy.
But I can go online and find it.
Yeah, you can.
There's so many
I'm
things
gonna
I'm
go on,
involved in,
yeah,
it doesn't come to mind unless it's.
Yeah, the budget's online, everything's.
Yeah, I know, I can search it up, but I just say, we used to get.
Okay, any other, transfer station improvements? Update, no?
No, just
Okay.
minor repairs
Okay.
to continue along with.
Can we move to the, status on the food waste program?
So, food waste program, I find out where I had all my written notes on that. Give me a second.
And Nick is doing the food waste, right? Nick?
Sorry, think of what?
Nick is the food waste,
Nick?
John? Nick?
Yeah,
The
curbside card.
Curbside.
Curbside,
collection.
yeah.
Just give me a second, because I have. Okay, here it is. All right, so food waste, was started on October 17th.
Yep,
We've gone and they supplied 32-gallon containers
that are at the, transfer station.
that are located at the transfer station. As soon as you go up the ramp,
Yep.
You'll see them right there, so that, we go in front and center, people will see them. We have, let's see, we've had, from the beginning to now, we've had 204 people dropping them off. Many of them are multiple, individuals that.
They're dropping off their home container.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Does it come-
They may go 2 or 3
You're
times a week.
dumping them in these things.
So they bring their little container and they dump it into the 32-gallon. We've been filling them up.
Well, is that redundant with the curbside pickup? I mean, how does that,
No,
Curbside you pay for, that's separate.
Oh, you pay for that?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
they gotta pay, yeah.
And if you.
And how does that work? How's that working out? You know,
Like-
the curbside pick?
35 a month, and is Nicole still
But how
doing
many
it?
involved with that? How many?
I think you have 2 vendors, that do that, curbside collection,
Nick and-
and I think it was Action that was also collecting it.
So how many homeowners are there, you know?
I don't know.
No.
It's a private
I
business.
don't get that.
Right.
You don't get that?
But of the 204, many of them are duplicates?
Yes, so,
Oh, okay.
we'll get the same person come down 2 or 3 times a week.
Okay,
So how do you assess weight from these?
So our weight, what we've done is, track that separately based on what they collect. So We obviously are not weighing each individual little car coming in.
Right.
But we are waiting on the collection, so we've had it collected 5 times so far.
The 32-gallon containers.
Right.
So all 6 of them went out?
So 6 of them they pretty much all get filled right now.
So we've had 30 of them have been collected.
Correct. And
How much do they weigh?
we're at, one of the 5 collections, we're at 1.13 tons.
Oh, wow, that's great.
So we're about 2,265, pounds.
That's for 1 month, roughly,
Well, that's for 5 weeks.
for
Yeah.
5 weeks.
Of collection. When you start figuring out,
So that's each, Johnny, that's each time they collect, so that's basically
time they
6 tons.
collect is,
It's almost 7 tons.
It's once a
total.
week now.
No,
that's
divided by
for the
5.
5 weeks.
Oh, I'm sorry, okay.
So if you're looking at it on a weekly basis, where did I have that number?
400.
See, total 2 things.
So is that saving us,
Four-
400
a week?
Yeah,
400 pounds a week.
403, somewhere about there.
So this is saving us from hauling 1 ton of MSW
It's in
Is that what
lieu,
we're saying?
yes, in lieu of saving 1 ton.
in 5 weeks.
1 ton of MSW.
Okay.
Which would be about how much
So
saving?
if you're hauling, our rate would be, if we went into the MSW,
Right,
we'd be paying about $85
oh, okay.
a ton. We're paying $100 a week for the service. So when you actually figure this out, it's costing us.
Right now it's costing us
It's a money
$400.
loser. It's costing us about
Costs us $400.
$2 every time.
What about the 7,000 funding that was initiated at first, and the 15,000 to come, how's that working out?
That was used
That was used
to
around
purchase.
containers.
It's used to purchase
Right.
the equipment, the container, the advertising,
Okay.
and all that. The actual operational costs, I can use that out, spend that out.
But is there still 15,000 pending coming in somehow?
Yes, we still have that. That's from the 15,000 that you're talking about, that's available,
Okay,
which
that's from the mini bond.
is from the mini.
Yeah.
Which is not just dedicated to that program.
Oh.
Understand
Oh,
that.
it's not?
No,
No.
that,
Okay.
to clarify, that is, money that the distributors pay the town directly.
But it doesn't go into this budget? Doesn't go into,
No, this is on its
Okay.
own separate
So-
account. You're allowed to use it for, recycling, increasing recycling, or anything to help, or litter control even. I mean, I could use that to pay for a sweeper to sweep the side streets if I want. The whole idea is, this is a fund that was generated because people would buy these little mini bottles and throw them along the side of the road. So they ended up putting, I guess, was it a nickel or a dime on top
Right.
of them, on the cost that the distributor, the state doesn't get involved in the distribution of it, but gets involved in the reporting of it. That money, based on how many of these little bottles they sell here in the town of Fairfield, we get that money to use for recycling. It could be used to fund a person, it could be used for improvements of the transfer station to make operations. It could be used for litter control.
Okay, so John, on the food waste, if it's cost us basically $400 thus far, what do we expect to have a turnaround, what kind of volume?
Well, we'll see how, I mean, we're filling the 6 containers right now, so we may have to expand on it, and then that's 6, if I have to put more down there, we'll see where it goes. This is a pilot program.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll probably take it to the end of the fiscal year, and we'll see where it goes on it.
The curbside picks up once a week at
Once
this
a week.
point in time of the year, and they charge what?
$100 a week.
$100, okay,
$100 a week.
yeah.
And the
Who's
town-
that? Who's that? I'm sorry, I missed that.
The curbside, they're the people that take the food waste and bring it to a composter.
Private companies,
It's a private company.
but they don't bring it to our compost.
No.
They bring it
We
to
don't have a
council.
council.
They
Yeah,
bring
okay.
it
no,
up
that's-
to,
that's-
they bring it up to,
That's all they want.
up to, I think it's New Milford or something.
Yeah,
Danbury.
okay.
Danbury,
Right.
That part.
Okay,
Danbury.
But-
all right.
So these the 32 gallons, where are they disposed of? What's the process with that? How do they go out and where do they go?
They come in there with their vehicle, they empty out the compostable bags.
Who does that?
Curbside collection.
Oh, they do it, so
It's
they're
like,
involved
it's
in
like we're
private?
a stop.
So
We're
they're
like
involved in
a
that?
stop.
Yeah, okay, so they're involved in the same
well,
thing.
curbside collection probably picks it up at people that are paying per
Yes,
month around
but also
town,
from the
and then they
transfer
stop
station.
here, and then they take it to
But
Danbury.
they also get it from the transfer station. From
Yeah,
these
they do
things.
now, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm sorry, curbside dumps it into our bins?
No.
No,
No,
no.
okay.
Curbside.
No, it is
also
confusing.
pick up
I
our bid.
There's two parts.
thought you were.
The resident, we have a bin, it's a
Right.
6 32-gallon ones.
Right.
They have a compostable liner in it. Curbside collection will come and pick it up, they generally come on Wednesdays, and put it into their truck. I'm sure, as you stated, they pick up other facilities, or residents, or, and Westport, I think is in the same,
Yep.
uses the same vendor. They then take that and they take it to approved, DEP approved, permitted site, which I think is up in New Milford or Danbury.
So they're composting that for other resources that
Right.
come out of it.
So they're charging us to pick that up? I'm sorry.
Yes,
a little
yeah,
bit.
pick it up, so they charge us to pick it up and haul it up, and
Okay.
dispose of it, and pay whatever tip fee is up there.
Okay, and before, when you were talking the numbers, and I just don't know if I heard you correctly, they charge more than if it went into our regular stream.
Correct.
Yeah.
So no matter what we
Right
do,
now, calculating that.
right
yes,
now,
that
no
is
matter what we
correct.
do, it's always gonna cost us money.
Correct.
Okay.
Well,
Well,
yeah,
but,
it's a pilot program, just launching the program, just getting people into the,
Right, well, if the numbers increase and you get, if it works out better, then we can go into,
Well, the whole idea of the
Who
program was
weighs
to
it?
eliminate the
Well-
wet food from the waste stream, isn't that the whole idea of the program?
Yeah, but it's
So
gonna
it's supposed
cost
to
us more, because right off the bat, it's saying it costs more for them to haul it than our regular.
right now, from
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
5-week period,
yeah.
it's a cost.
Okay.
these
Not-
Which I get, it's a pilot, and I'm just asking some.
Until we see, if it increases to.
But what's the end game? When is it gonna stop being a cost, and when are we actually gonna see a savings on the
I have
MSW?
no idea.
Yeah, it just depends on how we
That's-
promote
that's
the
why-
program.
Understand that food waste, I mean, first of all, Danbury and these other regional composters have been taking for a long time food waste from restaurants and commercial facilities. And the more that goes into that, the less that goes into garbage, which, wet food waste, makes the incineration more expensive. Now, whether we pay for that directly or not, putting that into an incinerator hurts the
Yeah, but the
efficiency of this incinerator.
commercial vendors of Fairfield are not involved in this, it's just homeowners.
No, that's right. If you want, right now, you can put your food waste in
No, I
your
know,
garbage.
but we're
If you want
still,
to.
Mike, we're still losing money, the town
Right.
is losing money on this.
That's what I'm saying.
It's only
So,
1,000.
Wait a minute, you seem like you don't care. Are we doing this to
I
save
care about
money?
the environment, okay?
Okay, are we doing this to save, is the objective
Well, the point
To
is, it's a
save
pilot program. and
municipal
it's
waste or not?
launching it-
Is that our objective?
If you look at the big flag, the state of Connecticut does not have the capacity to take care of its own garbage. Garbage is going out of this state.
Pennsylvania.
DEEP is looking at ways to reduce the amount that has to be sent out of state that can be handled within state from the current processing plants that are available. Hartford is no longer
Right.
operating. That whole Hartford region, they're putting it on trucks and taking it out to Pennsylvania. Torrington, the Torrington area, they have a transfer station set up there. They're trucking it out to Pennsylvania. I think you got a couple haulers are looking to create, landfills up in New Hampshire. They're taking it from Massachusetts, and their concerns is that they're also gonna be taking it from Connecticut. Deep's approach, and I'm not saying this is the way it's gonna work or not, they feel 24%, approximately 23 to 24% of your household MSW is food waste.
Yeah,
And if you can put that into compost, that helps narrow that gap of what has to be sent out of state. That is what they're pushing on this stuff.
yeah, so education, outreach, all this is incredibly important. Question, if they add a couple more buckets, how does that increase the cost per bucket?
I had to work that out.
Yeah, okay.
Well, we don't need to add more buckets, they're only accepting it one day a week,
Well,
right?
They're getting to be where they're full by the time they get picked up.
this is a project, this has only been going on for 5 weeks.
Yeah, it's really
A
good.
lot of people don't even know about it.
Yeah.
No, I understand, but
So-
my question is, if it's going 5 weeks and it's costing us $400, and we increase it, how much is it gonna cost us if we keep increasing it? We're not saving MSW dumping.
When they come once a week, correct me if I'm wrong, they charge $100 no matter how much they pick up, right?
Right.
So the
Yeah.
more they pick up,
The
less-
better, yeah.
The better.
So we-
If they charge $100 for one container, and then
Yeah.
5 weeks from now, they pick up 5 and charge $100, that's,
$100 a week for most people is a lot of money. I don't know if I do.
for a town, what are you
That's
talking
a
about?
lot of money, $100 a week.
Well, it's for the town of Fairfield, what do you mean?
Yeah, okay, but the other point is,
I understand to put it in some relationship.
because I dump it in my yard, I do my own composting.
Good.
It's very good.
My understanding, I'll just throw out some numbers, that some haulers, and you can survey the haulers that are here that may know better, they charge maybe $30, well, it might be $30 a month or something, to do one household. So
30 a month is not bad, that's good.
for
Yeah.
for one residential
Yeah.
household. So you figure how many we may be having coming down to us, it's one item. Like I said, the whole purpose of this, that Deep is pushing this, and if you take a step back and remember, we looked at doing our own digester with
Yeah.
Right,
and,
right.
and trying to go that whole process where we would wind up processing it, which I'm glad we did not, because my understanding is the one down in
Stanford.
Norfolk.
Norfolk?
Was it Stanford or Norfolk?
It was Stanford.
Stanford, is down more than it's up.
Right.
Yeah,
John,
we
the-
visited, yeah.
Well, then
Of the
that
curbside
explains
collect-
it too, right.
I've been trying to ask a question,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I never really
Mike,
got
go
my
ahead.
questions out before. So, I realize this is a dual purpose, and it has to go for a while, I get that, 5 weeks, you really can't tell anything 5 weeks. So we gotta let it run to the fiscal year, like you said, I like that, and then we could go back and look at, and see if we're saving or paying more. But I just, maybe I better understand, I'd like to understand, when they come down and pick it up, this curbside, so you're just saying that they charge us $100 no matter what they pick up, and that'll never change? Or do they charge us by weight?
I got 6 containers for $100.
So when we get 20 containers, they're gonna charge us more?
I haven't got into if they double, if we
Okay.
get that much and they double it, how that would
Okay.
go.
All right.
That's something.
That answers my question.
I don't have all the numbers for
So
that.
it's not just $100, so as it grows, that fee is gonna probably
That
grow.
fee may grow.
And then we'll take a look at it down at the end of the fiscal year.
This is basically, like I said, it's a pilot program to
Yep.
see where
Well,
this is.
that's why we're doing status.
What the interest is with the public.
Now,
Well,
let me, you said, the hope, and this is a really good ambitious thing, if we can get 24% of that garbage, 25%, take it away as disposable, recyclable, compostable materials. Right now, you said there was 1.13 tons a month, that's all of that. How much is that percentage of the total amount of garbage that goes out a month?
We do about 33, and then 24% is a number that.
Oh, that's really-
That Deep.
That's
uses.
a tough, I know.
That's a deep number.
That's
It's a
really
Connecticut
good.
State number.
That's a big number.
So, I'm just,
Right.
I'm relaying information that is put out from
I
our
understand,
sources.
yeah.
Our budget is based on 33,000 tons of MSW a
How about per
year.
month?
A year.
A year,
I'll divide
okay.
that out.
So that's a
About
small
three
percent.
thousand, a little under 3,000.
Do we have any idea of the weight or the volume that curbside or any of the other collectors are collecting? Do we have any idea what they're actually experiencing, say, per
I think
month?
last year, I think I had a report from curbside that they were collecting, curbside was like 41 tons,
41 tons in Fairfield.
yes.
But when we get to the end of the program, we're gonna reevaluate it in the fiscal year.
Right.
We'll know, because we'll be able to show a reduction in our stream.
Well, no,
That's what we're gonna wanna
I
see.
mean, one of the key items that we're doing is we're tracking
Yeah.
what they're hauling out.
Hmm.
So that we have some type of number to say, this is what has been pulled out of our MSW list.
So we have
Which should kind of equal what's coming out of our stream, the measurements that we already have.
Yeah,
Depending
right,
on what-
right.
Yeah, how close you can see it there's many things that go into the weights. If it rains and garbage gets wet, it's heavy.
No, but over a period of time, it should average out.
It's based on, like I say, an average of where, if there's a significant.
Well, you're gonna compare it to, what you did last year, or what we
Right.
did for the previous 6 months. You're gonna, during the same type of weather patterns and everything else. I get that.
So if we did 1.13 tons every 5 weeks, and say over a period of 12 months, we did 12 tons, and the 41 tons at curbside, that means it's 53 tons that we're eliminating from the solid waste.
year.
A year, right? Okay.
Is
All
that
right.
41 tons a year in Fairfield or a month?
I think it was 41 for the year.
For the year, okay.
Okay. Any other questions?
41 tons the whole year?
Yeah,
It was more than that.
and I think that's, what I got.
And to put the $100 in perspective, individual homeowners are paying $35 a month who choose to send them.
Yeah, that's what I meant, yeah.
Yeah.
5 gallon.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a 5 gallon.
Okay, all right.
I presume that number was about right, so if you guys heard that or not, but I don't know. I haven't asked it.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay,
So that's where you are with the food list.
Okay.
It's a pilot program just to see where it goes. You want to get an update on it, so
Yep.
thank you, John.
that's where it's at.
How about the glass
Glass,
collection program?
Glass, we've pulled out, 27.4 tons. And that's, and we have a full one that will get, another full one that's, will probably be about another 6 tons thereabouts that will get picked up probably next Monday.
So 27 tons total.
Yeah,
So
27 tons, if you want to say 33 net by the end of the month.
That's per month?
No, that's since we started.
Since
Yeah.
you started?
Okay.
Since July 1st, it's been 11.6 tons
Okay.
from July. And that consisted of only 2 loads. So we're averaging somewhere around 5.5 to 6 tons.
A month.
About 5 to 6 weeks, thereabouts.
Yeah.
It may change a little bit with the holidays, changes with.
And what does that cost us? What is it, what is this? what
That's
is
cost
this yield?
avoidance?
That is a total cost avoidance.
So we avoid it.
This is a pilot program
Yeah.
that Oak Ridge is doing with about 5 municipalities, that they supply the container, and they pick it up, and they take it up to, what's the name of the town? Sorry.
Beacon Falls.
Beacon,
Yeah.
yep.
So we're avoiding that from the recycling.
Any feedback with contamination issues, or are we doing okay?
No, I haven't heard anything. I mean, we go through and, it's been pretty clean. We'll take a look at it and pull out something, but, and the fact that it's moved up higher too, where you can now see, keep an eye on it,
Yeah.
it's a pretty clean, commodity.
So if we keep this average of 5.5 tons a month, what's our total yearly cost savings?
Well, that's a good one, because, and that's kind of what I was gonna allude to when I got into some of these rates later on. Our recycling is adjusted quarterly.
Yeah.
So the first quarter of this fiscal year, from July to September 30th, I'll give you the exact number. Our tip fee, one second, I think I had it here. Our tip fee was $53.75 per ton. Now, you would also add $26 a ton on top of that for the hauling, for us to pay Enviro to take it from our transfer station to Oak Ridge.
26. Okay.
26. So you're looking at 79 dollars a ton.
Yep.
79, 75.
So we're at least saving the $60 or $26 a ton for 60 tons, right?
Well, hold on.
Well, yeah, we gotta keep going, because.
79, so that's 79, 75 for the first three loads, for the
First quarter.
first quarter. That was, about 15 tons. All right?
15.
Now, the second quarter, our recycling tip fee went up. Commodity markets plummeted, and we are being charged $99.22 a ton to tip fee. On top of that, you add the $26, so you're having a cost avoidance of $125.22 per ton for this second quarter of the fiscal year.
Do you have dates, the second quarter dates?
The first quarter goes from July 1st
Okay, thanks.
to September 30th.
Okay.
Second quarter is October 1st to
December.
December 31st.
Did they say anything about paper? Because he said they were not even able to use paper.
The markets, mixed paper went down, plastics went down, cardboards, I think, even went down.
So who's calculating this tip fee? Is this increase in the tip fee?
This is Oak Ridge based on what their markets are and what they're selling it from. And it gets passed on to all the towns that are interlocal that's taking it there. It's probably about 11 or 12 towns that are involved.
So if we keep it at the second quarter rate, which is what this activity was in, at 5, 10, 15, what's that, 25 tons, times $125 a ton? Basically, that's just cost savings?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, now this is a pilot program also. At some point down the line, we may wind up having to pay for hauling. We may wind up paying a tip fee. It would be less than what we're paying for separating it out. Otherwise, it wouldn't make sense.
We hope, but we have no control or guarantee whatsoever that once we get this pilot program going and everybody gets wedded to it, that they don't say, oh, guess what, it's still gonna be $100 a ton. We have no control of that, right?
No, but you're competing with the other commodity markets. The other item on this, it's good for Oak Ridge to get this glass out of their waste stream.
Just because of contamination issues in the plant.
It creates contamination of being broken and impregnated into cardboard, paper, and things like that. So contamination, but also it's very it affects their equipment in an extremely negative way of having this glass
Gets in the air.
Break down.
And they're breathing.
break down into
Okay.
the machines. It cuts up their belts.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
Erosion.
So, you get the dust in the bearings and the whole bit. So it helps them, and that's why they're actually offering to do this pilot.
So just to be clear, the first and second quarter tip fees you mentioned, that's for the total recycle, right? As opposed to what are they charging for glass?
No,
Nothing.
Nothing, oh, okay.
No, the
Tip fee's taken out.
that tip fee was not for
Right
recycling,
now,
that's for
why-
total.
Just they're just charging the hauling fee.
So they're not charging us the whole fee for the glass either.
Oh, okay.
That's part of the program.
So this,
Gotcha.
with this pilot program, it's, anything that comes out of there is a savings, 100%.
Okay,
And those savings, like I said, are amounting to $125 a ton right now.
okay.
would it be a good thing for us to look at options for satellite collection? Because, you know, I think there's still,
I'm not getting
Yeah,
into that.
well.
That's a different
I'm
subject.
not going to do a satellite. I have no control over the satellite. They have not offered to pay for satellites,
okay.
so.
Okay. Should we move on to the, new business?
So as far as,
Hang on, John, 1 second. Any members of the public want to comment on anything so far?
Question? Yeah, I have one question. 24% from deep, is that volume, or 24% by volume, or 24% by weight?
I believe it is a weight.
I think it's weight, yeah.
I can't believe that. I've been in business 50 years, I don't believe that. But-
For MSW?
That's why, that is not my number.
I read this a long time ago. Yeah, I read the same thing you did, I think.
That's not my number, that is,
DEP.
your Commissioner of Deep.
And it probably comes from taking, you know, just examining.
Does that include commercial and residential mixed, or just residential?
That's what they say comes out of, I believe it's residential, but,
You know,
or, no, it's probably, they're looking at the entire waste stream. Their goal is to,
You know, obviously, commercial with restaurants, they would produce a lot more, that percentage.
Absolutely. Commercial restaurants could be probably 60%,
Very high.
50% wet.
And it's a statewide number.
Yeah.
We're all from Fairfield. We know how many people
Right.
go out to eat and how often we go out to eat. It's not the case in the whole state.
Right.
Having read, I think, the same report, I believe it's an evaluation they did of all the MSW coming into the various incinerators, whether it was Bridgeport or the one in Hartford, and it was probably a snapshot at some point.
there, I think Meriden is one of the towns that went for that SSM grant where they're having, people put their food waste in one bag, color bag, and their garbage in another color bag, and they're separated at their collection facility or near it, and doing weights with it. This was a grant. And the whole idea is to see how this pilot program works. I think the ones that are making out the best are the bears, because from what I heard, they're loving it.
The who?
Bears.
Bears.
The pest.
Yeah.
Why, is it not
Hang on.
in a container, they're just having,
Listy.
I'm just out,
We have somebody asking a question.
We did a food waste, program in conjunction with, Procter & Gamble years ago, right at the source, right at the homeowner. We provided recyclable bags, biodegradable bags, and, two areas of Fairfield. One was down by Road Road, and one was up by Kangmore Drive. We did about it, we didn't come close to 24%, not close. We were nowhere near that. If you just didn't, you know, not everybody participated, but,
Through the chair, what
Yes.
company do you represent?
no problem, big little sanitation.
Okay.
But, I just think 24% is quite a bit. That's just.
This is, and I said, the big flare.
No.
This is what your deep commissioner is trying to push to get out of our lack of ability to address our own MSW.
There is a good example, they're pretty close to Fairfield in population there, and you should put the commission on the back of the truck and take a quick look.
You're welcome to give her a call.
Tim, in your study of the food waste, did you come up with any analysis that justified it?
Oh, I'm talking about, I read a study that the DEP did. I read it in the Hartford Current, I believe, some time ago.
So we don't really know where it came from.
I don't have that with me.
Okay.
You go
But
online.
you can find it.
I mean, I've heard her give these speeches. There was a recycling coalition, I don't know if any of you gentlemen were on it, or if you were on it. You know, I think that's for some of the numbers that she threw out there. I don't have the full thing right here, but
Okay.
as to what the states, makes up the state, MSW, what our ability to address the MSW within state, what is going out of state, and how they're hoping to close it and tie it back up.
Okay, if we can move on to the new business tipping fees.
So with the new, with the tipping fees, and which I started out to alluding to let you be aware of what prices we're paying. Our recycling has gone up. It's gone up to $125. It costs more to get rid of recycling than it does to get rid of MSW. But you're under law, state law, to recycle it, even if it does cost more. We end up, I generally base our recycling at 5,650 tons a year is what I've been budgeting. So you're about 1/6 of what our solid waste. I told you that was about 33,000.
Yep.
Recycling, we're kind of our own worst enemy at one point. The town used to make, everything used to be in MSW, and everything was being paid for. Recycling came along, they broke it out, and for many years, in fairly recent past, we were making money on it. So it was a big push that you don't have to charge for recycling because you want to encourage the more that went into recycling, the town made money and it offset the cost of solid waste. I really want the board or commission to understand that that has reversed to not only to where it's an expense, but now you're paying more per ton to get rid of the recycling than you are the garbage.
The garbage is the $99, right?
The garbage is the 85, I think it was about $85 a ton right now. And recycling is $125
Yeah.
a ton, and change. It's my responsibility to bring that to you, to where you want to go with this going forward. Do we continue to not charge recycling, or do you decide to charge recycling? Do you have the town continue to absorb that cost? Bear in mind, we have 1 year left in our MSW contracts as Wheelabrator, of which that will be going up. That is a cost that on our 5-year contract goes up at 3/4 of the CPI. If you're looking at CPI right now, let's round numbers and say it's 8 and take 3/4, 6%. Our tip fee for MSW is going up about 6%. So where the tip fee was at 68 at Wheelabrator, plus another 1689 to haul it, which brings us close to 85. This next fiscal year, I'm going to be probably figuring a total of $90 per ton. And then our contract has to be renewed, and negotiations will start, and you're going to be competing, you're going to probably see a larger increase because you now have competition of Hartford garbage. Hartford, and I'll allow one of the haulers that they know what's up there they're paying, but I think they're paying 105 or so already, in that vicinity.
So they're gonna try and negotiate for the capacity of Bridgeport then?
No, but when Wheelbrader's the only game in town unless you're shipping it out
Right.
of state, because you're not sending it up to Hartford or any of those, because those, they can't even handle, they don't have it in-house. I'm just giving you a heads up that garbage costs for tipping fees are going to increase.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not just the little jumps here and there that we've experienced the past few years, and we haven't done anything. We've kept our rates the same, but you got recycling going up dramatically, and you got garbage going up the following fiscal year. I need to, I don't want you coming back a year from now and telling me, why didn't you tell me that this was coming?
Right.
I try to do my due diligence to educate and inform you as much as I know, which may not be a lot, but that rates have gone up. Some towns have increased their rates, others, haven't.
Have you figured that into the budget?
I'm figuring for this coming budget.
The budget starts, you're gonna start January.
Well, I have to formulate numbers now. And I am using the numbers that I am going to supply, just based on the 33,000 tons of MSW at $90, or the tip fee of around $72.11, and a hauling fee of $17.90. We are on our last year also with our contractor for hauling. They have the same verbiage, language in their contract where it goes up 3/4 of the CPI.
That was a 5-year contract?
That was a 5-year contract. So both of them end in July 24, which is the budget that we are working on right now.
Do we have other haulers that you're going to be contacting to compete on the contracts?
For hauling, that'll be something that I'll have to look at, whether we put out an RFP, whether we take certain operations in-house and just do the hauling portion, whether we put the whole thing out to see who wants to haul and operate our transfer station.
Can we work with other towns in the regional group that we're in to look at pricing opportunities? And
that sometimes gets done, but each town is going to be a little different based on where they're hauling from. Yeah. We're close to Wheelbrader, so if we're going to Wheelbrader, we're not going to pay as much to haul as Westport, or maybe Monroe, or actually Trumbull or something like that. As far as the tip fee and dealing with Wheelbrader, we have a fairly strong coalition of towns that work together in their negotiations to negotiate with Wheelbrader going forward. So when I'm doing my budget, yes, I have numbers that I could put in based on what I know now. The following year, it's going to be what's out there.
So what are you asking us to potentially vote on?
Nothing, he's asking just to be prepared.
I'm not asking you for a vote, because I'm not saying, here, I want you to raise it to this or that or whatever.
But what would we be raising, the fee down at the?
Well, you may be looking at putting a cost on recycling. You may turn around and say, make it half of what, we have residents that come in and pay $6 at the window for garbage. Do we charge $3 for recycling? If you charge those residents, then you also have to charge the haulers. If you charge the haulers, you also have to charge the residents who come in. You can't just pick and choose.
Yeah.
You gotta be consistent across the board. I'm not saying this is, I'm not, because I have to submit a budget and, we're not meeting.
We should get this.
But I am looking for you to at least be acknowledging that rates are going up, and you may, if you're not gonna be addressing it this year, I think it's something you're gonna have to look at definitely, probably the following year. Like I said, I know Trumbull charges their residents, you come in with a car, load a couple cans or something like that, it's $7 for a resident to go and use their transfer station. They used to be $6.
So is that what you're proposing, or potentially gonna, because I mean, you're talking a lot of numbers here, but you're not proposing.
I'm not
He's not
coming out,
proposing anything.
So I don't.
I'm not actually coming out and saying it unless you guys want to say, hey, let's start charging something now. I'm not asking you that you need to say, have a vote, this is, I don't think it's fair to you to,
Well,
present something to you tonight and say, go vote on it.
No, and that's maybe when you're throwing out these numbers, I mean, is this something that's gonna be coming, because I wanna see it written down, I know when you.
Well, that's why we need
numbers.
a budget on, we
Yeah.
want something concrete to
Right,
look at and see
right.
where, what.
uh,
And what the tipping fees are gonna change to, what people are currently paying, and then we make a decision. So you're really just alerting us that you may be coming to us with a proposal down the road.
Correct.
What are your deadlines for the budget numbers?
For this year, I start submitting my numbers now. Then they get
Oh.
locked in, I think, around the end of, December, by February 1st,
But you're not gonna lock
the
them
first
in.
select woman has to submit her budget, I think.
You're not gonna lock them into the town before we meet again.
I'm
Your numbers.
presenting the numbers that I just said based on what the contracts are. We're under contracts still.
Okay, so when you get your
So
numbers
we're
ready,
safe.
we'll see them again before they go to the town.
No, because I have to submit mine by the end of probably by the end of the month.
Right.
They want to start seeing my numbers to start putting them.
Okay, so when you get those prepared, could you provide us to the
I will
commission?
provide you with a
So we see what they are?
a submitted budget.
Okay.
Could you also provide a printout of the projected revenues that,
Yep.
we would get?
Yeah, because that's what Mike's asking.
Yeah, I want to see.
Yeah.
The revenue,
I have
we need to see
Very
both
clear.
sides of the ledger.
Yeah, I know the revenue's gone down because the market has collapsed on certain items they don't want. but-
Well, this is why we went through the status of all these programs. We want to see what we're saving on the
Right.
programs, if
If you
anything.
propose it to the town and they approve your budget, then we don't have to raise anything, right? I mean,
No,
you know.
no, it's going up to CPI, that's what you're saying.
Yeah, but if.
That'll go up.
Yeah.
But the town's just picking up more of the cost.
Right.
Right. They have to make the decision first. If they're gonna refute, then, if the town refuses to pick it up in a budget, then we're gonna have to discuss raising the fees.
I think the town should have it.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, the
until
town- well, they-
until the
they have to
town makes
pick
a
it up.
decision whether or not they're gonna pick it up in increasing the budget, we don't have to talk about discussing raising the fees.
Wait, hang on one second.
Yeah,
Can we have a couple of comments from the,
I have a
callers?
comment, and this is more history than anything. My name is Stanley Goldwater. I'm from Big Grove, and I was here in 1991 when we started this recycling program. This isn't our program. We have nothing to do with this program. This is the town's
Right.
program. We were told, you pick it up and you drop it off. That's it. You're not gonna control it. It's not your product. You're not supposed to do anything. If you have a problem, you report to someone in the town. There were two people in the town at the time, under Richie Sellers. Then there was one, then there's none, now there's no Mike. There's no one. There's you, John. You're the new guy.
Yes, I am.
So if we had gave you all of our complaints, all of a sudden, we are now in charge of controlling the plastic bags, putting on stickers, notifying people, knocking on doors. This isn't our program. We don't collect a dime. Since we started in 1991, my company has spent over $1 million in equipment with no revenue. It costs me $360,000 to $390,000 a year to collect the recycling. I save less than $200,000 in dump fees. Recycling is a total loser for us, a total loser. Every, and I mean every workman's comp claim I've had in the last 12 years was on a recycling truck, nothing on a garbage truck. It's a total loser for us. Now you want to charge us. You want us to go collect from our customer. And we said, we might as well just throw it in the trash and pay you $90 a pound. It's
Or we
cheaper
can
for
leave
you
it
to
on
do
the
that.
curb and you can go collect it.
Yeah, or you can put it out to bid.
We're out to bid.
Be my guest.
Well, we're happy to let it
I would
go.
love to just pick up trash. Recycling is the worst thing that ever happened to our business. And we do the best we can to accommodate the town. You guys in Fairfield are in a very unique situation. I don't know if you know this. You pay zero to get your recycling picked up. Zero. It costs you nothing. Not a dime. And you get paid from us for the trash. You wanna
And
give us-
before you were here, they glommed onto the money at the recycling when they first
I'll
signed
give you
the
a
contract
couple of
for
surrounding
5
towns.
years.
Westport, they don't charge for trash, they get the recycling picked up for free. Trumbull does not charge for trash, they get the recycling picked up just like we do. Monroe charges for trash, they pay to get the recycling picked up. Easton pays to get the recycling picked up. So, you guys are in a tremendous position.
They pay to get the recycling?
It goes out to contract and they pay someone to pick up the recycling.
The town hires one company to pick
So
up
if the
everything.
town would like to put it out to contract, if you put it out to contract, you still have to pay the disposal. You guys are on the hook for disposal anyway, I see it for recycling. Because as far as I'm concerned, but this is just me speaking, if you wanna charge me for recycling, you can sit at the curb or go in my garbage truck. There's no way we can go back to our customer. It's very unfair to our customer to have to pay.
You're saying other towns have a single hauler for only recycling and they pay for that?
Easton pays.
Easton
Monroe pays.
East of the Monroe,
So
he said.
it's okay, so it's basically a municipal service.
It's a municipal contract, it's a
Okay.
10-year contract,
Just
9-year
for
contract.
recycling?
Which is,
They have private haulers there too.
Private haulers like us,
Okay, well, that's very
with the
interesting.
recycling without the bid.
But some other towns do not charge their private haulers to dump the trash, only Fairfield.
Right.
Really?
Trumbull gets the
Trumbull,
recycling
if
picked
you're,
up like
if you're
us,
a residential hauler in
Town, right.
Trumbull, you can dump your residential trash in Trumbull Transfer Station.
so that
If you're a
87,
resident in Trumbull, you can go into the transfer station for free. I think Mr. Cattell is mistaken. The Monroe residents that go into Trumbull transfer station pay $7.
Oh.
If you're a hauler in Westport and you haul residential trash, it's free. If you're a resident of Westport and you want to go to the dumpster yourself, it's free. The town absorbs the dump fee, as it should, because nobody in Fairfield gets on the train to Manhattan and takes their trash with them. I've not seen any. I don't know how else to explain it other than that. We don't all go to the golf course, but we paid $7 million for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't go.
well, just give you a little sidebar. We started recycling in 1991. We bought 3 trucks, that were 12 yards each. 12 cubic yards, that's what, it worked for a while. And we used 25-yard trucks for the garbage. Then we bought bigger recycling trucks, 20 yards, non-packed, trucks in the back. And every time we bought trucks, every time we had to replace them again, there was no market to sell these recycling trucks. It was the biggest loser you could possibly have. Nobody wanted them. So we have done a total reverse. About 5 or 6 years ago, we bought 2 18-yard trucks, Packers, for recycling, and we're still using 25-yard trucks for garbage. Now it's reversed. Now the 25-yard trucks go out for recycling, the 18-yard trucks go out for trash. And, every time we want to replace a truck, every time the recycling evolved, this isn't a $60,000. This is, we were lucky. We ordered our last 2 trucks, they were just under $300,000. I'm sitting here with a gentleman who paid over, he was the first guy to pay over $300,000. And we ordered the truck last November.
You got ripped off.
Yeah, we want the other thing.
2023. You might see the 2023 set.
Yeah.
You might. I ordered it November of 2021.
Yeah, you're lucky to get a truck.
What does Big Little do with the recycling stuff? materials?
I'm sorry?
What does your company do with the actual recycling? Where does it really go?
We're forced to bring it
To the transfer station.
And then where does it go? I know that, and then where does it go?
Okay.
It's all combined. There's no market for that stuff.
Just to be clear,
That's not my concern.
That's not your concern, okay?
That was never, it was spelled out clearly.
That
by
wasn't
Richie
our
White
concern.
And Richard Seller. It's not your concern.
Right.
Your concern is to pick it up and deliver it to Stratford. That was our
The
original.
only thing the town ever did was bought those blue bins
Right.
in 1991.
And since then, I bought 3,500 blue bins and 4,200 96-gallon carts. I did.
Because the town wanted volume.
And you gave them to your customers?
Your
Yeah, for the
commission
customers.
asked us to go to carts, and we said, be careful what you wish for.
Yeah.
Because now we can't see the stuff.
How do you make that up, that cost?
How? We don't. That's what.
That's what he's trying to say. He
I
can't
know,
make it up.
I know, that's my point.
You don't make it up.
It's tough, I know, I understand, I empathize,
so you have I live in Woodfield Village and you pick us up. You have a different truck for trash and a different truck for recycle.
Correct.
That comes at different times, right?
Right.
Okay. And when you bring the recycle to, the transfer station, what happens? You're charged for that?
No.
No, you're not charged for that.
Not at the present time.
Okay. But when you bring the trash down,
We pay for the.
Pay tip fee.
okay.
that's
Yeah.
tipping fee,
Okay.
You're out of town grabs us for 200 pounds every load.
What's that?
Out of town, they grab us for 200 every load. Because now, without the guy in the shack, the second guy in the truck doesn't get out on the way up. But when we reweigh, he has to get out to pick up the ticket, so they wait for reweighing. So if the guy weighs 200, they grab us for $8.
Yeah, but you gotta be alert, you
I
gotta
did not today.
be alert to that.
Is that really happening? Is that really happening?
Yo, he's right.
Can't they change the tailway?
No.
Why?
We have to retrain our guys.
You guys, that's.
You gotta retrain your guy.
You tell you wait till you get or you get out, you get it. Don't tell me that, how I gotta tell you, I don't tell your guys, you get out of the truck, okay, now I'm waiting. But, that's something that we need to talk to your guy.
Oh, that's a good one.
The fat guy's gonna have to get out. The skinny guy's gonna have to stay in.
The point is, for over 30 years, we've managed the recycling for the town, for no fee. And we weren't supposed to have a fee. We were never supposed to go farther than Stratford. That was our original agreement. And we did go there for so long. Now the town got into a thing with Oak Ridge, and it's up wherever it is. That's not us.
Does
Is
anybody,
there another place to dump besides Oak Ridge?
That should be illegal.
I don't think,
Well, how does the state allow only
Yeah.
one vendor?
Yeah, and that's.
there's Murphy Road, I think, but it's a farther haul.
But how does the state allow the vendor to also compete in the garbage business and compete in that? It should be illegal, it shouldn't be able to do both.
Well,
Because that's right, Oak Ridge is your
So
competitor.
let me ask you this.
One at a time,
No, I'm just,
please. One at a time. Go ahead, John.
How does one major company now own the Wheelbury, the plant,
yeah,
transfer station down, elsewhere, while the hauling and the garbage collection, and so we're at the landfill?
does anybody on
I get it. I'm not the one who makes those decisions.
You're not making a vote. Go ahead, Stanley.
anybody on the commission remember or know the previous vendor, when it was FCR, Bedford County Recycling?
Yep.
We're in Stratford. When they switched to single stream, simultaneously, they switched vendors. But do you remember what the product was then? What the complaint was then was there was too much trash coming out of FCR. Because he cleaned the product, he did a really good job. So now, that was 20 years ago, or 12 years, or whatever it was. It's the same complaint now. There's too much trash going in. It's a matter of education. It's a whole generation.
Single stream was 1991, right?
No.
Dual stream, I don't remember.
5 years ago.
1990.
yeah.
Single stream was, Yeah.
I was gonna say.
Later than that, about 12, 13.
It was originally
14.
7 streams at one time.
The problem is, a whole generation of,
Right.
the deal was back then, we thought, it's 1991, we'll educate these kids, and by the time in 20 years, the next generation will know how to recycle. No one knows how to recycle.
When we went
I
to-
happen to drive a recycling truck today, and I ran out of stickers in the first half hour. There's just,
No. When they went to single stream, they closed that place in Stratford. They closed the garbage museum. They fired Audrey, that's how we got her. And nobody knows how to recycle. Audrey used to go out to the schools and teach kids. Do we have anybody that goes out to the schools anymore, John?
Not right this moment.
Not right.
But that was a problem with single stream, because everybody got lazy.
Yeah,
They took it
right,
out.
but you haven't educated them. You
If
don't
you
have
got like
everybody-
single
So
stream.
there's another issue too, it's you're talking about the product, what do they make from this stuff? If there's no need for it, there's no demand for that stuff, for the plastic, for the glass, they're not gonna make anything from it, there's no need for it, there's no use for it, there was a time when whether China bought it all, or the paper, they recycle, they're not using it.
I think part of the issue really needs to go back to the manufacturing package.
And that's,
Because
that's.
I'm so,
We can't.
I get cold sores, and they have this stuff like, it's called a Breva. The thing is about as big as, right? You've seen it, about as big as a knuckle, but the package is like,
Right,
right?
exactly,
And it's
exactly,
non-recyclable.
right.
It's all hard plastic, and it just, there's no, I don't
And
understand.
that's going to the MSW.
Right, and it's going
Yep.
to MSW.
Yep.
But, because I know better. Somebody else is saying, oh, if it's plastic and it's cardboard,
It's going to
it's going in the recycling.
Recycle, which is garbage,
Yeah,
which is
all right.
ridiculous.
And that's part of the.
Well, I think there is, no.
Okay,
We should move on now.
I knocked on
John?
one door today to tell my customer that these are not recyclable. She told me, there it is, right there, it's recyclable. It's right on the back, and she said, well, okay, I'm telling you they're not.
What are you gonna make from it?
Sorry?
It's recyclable to what? What's going to be made out of
okay,
it?
hang on. John, anything else?
But here's the problem, it's cold.
That's the problem, yeah. Doesn't fit into the
I
code.
want to throw it in the bin.
That's right, all right, let's go.
Okay, any other comments? Any other?
I just want to be, so, again, Jen, you're gonna, at some point, you think you might have to come back to us. My suggestion is you've got to get into the budget and let the powers to be make a decision, because I don't want to raise their fees, because they're gonna raise my fees.
Yep.
You know,
Well, I
so
hear that.
Let's get it, into the budget first, and then if you have to come back here, then we should.
John will prepare the budget, and you'll send us a copy as you, okay?
I copy you guys on it.
I have just one more comment. The last regime here, before you, John, raised us 17 out of 20 years?
Yeah.
17 out of 20 years. Every year they raised, he lost 10, he lost 10, he lost 10, I lost 10, he lost 10. You got 50 at the window. Every,
I'm not following.
they.
Wait a minute, you lost 10 what?
Customers.
Oh,
And that's why you have 700 on a Saturday. And that's where the money is. That's where, they could never understand, they weren't charging the homeowners enough. But the next year they came back, because they didn't make their budget, and they raised, and then he lost 10 more, he lost 10 more, I lost 10 more. Yeah.
You realize that what they charge the actual homeowners coming in is at a higher rate than what you guys are getting charged.
Most of the homeowners who come in tend to only come in like 3 weeks out of 4.
Right, you're getting more volume
So
from that.
we can't possibly.
you can't pick up every 3 weeks.
No, it's impossible for us to keep track on a route of 300 customers, which one is on the on week, which one is on the skip week, and have our schedule agree with their schedule. So we have to charge for pickup every week, assuming.
And you're saying, right, and they come only
The
once
majority
every
of
3
people
weeks.
come there.
Once
are
every.
That's true.
Skipping 1 week, and that's where the savings.
Mm-hmm.
Or they're grabbing their neighbor's trash too, and jamming it into 2 bales.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're getting it, you just don't realize it, you think you're not.
That's illegal.
I have a neighbor with 3 kids in town.
Well,
He goes to all 4 houses, comes to the dump for $6. He told me I was a thief when his kid moved into the route. I told him how much it cost. He was a thief. I'm the thief, but he's cheating the system.
So you lost
Right,
customers because
right.
the fees had to go up?
Yeah, when we raise our.
That's what he's saying, every time the fees go up, they lose their customers.
So there's no, when people come in, to bring trash, there's no criteria for, it's $6 no matter how much it is?
No,
Oh, okay, all right.
okay, that's what I'm saying, if you look at it per ton price, it costs, the haulers have the lowest amount. To encourage, their usage and reduce the amount of traffic flow through it.
I have a wild suggestion for you. Why don't you reduce the dump fee to zero, put it in your budget, the people in Fairfield, $2.5 million that we pay to dump now, will pay their taxes, then they can deduct it on their income tax. And they pay us, they don't deduct anything. You use that $2.5 million deduction. And we could reduce our rate. We could be a hero for once.
That's an accounting nightmare.
And let Brenda take care of it.
You can be lower in Oak Ridge.
Yeah.
Wait, but you put,
Suggestion.
so make it part of the tax bill, they can deduct it on their annual taxes.
Well, $2.5 million
Well,
is not being deducted by.
I'm not I know we're drifting off, I'm not an accountant, but I'm sure there's a lot of people in this town who max out on what they can deduct on their tax.
Well, yeah, that's Trump.
Yeah, we have
Right.
to do some analysis on that.
I'm not there yet, so.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I just have a.
Go ahead.
Go back to the.
And then we have to
the-
close.
The trailer and the wall and the open up. So the homeowners are gonna throw their recycling over the wall into, what are those, 80-yard trailers?
100-yard trailer.
100-yard trailers, and we're fixing the wall. So, on the offset chance the Packer breaks with the new wall, will we be able to dump out there?
Because it just blows all over the place when we try that. I'd rather have you guys fill up on the inside.
Well, we'd rather too, but it doesn't always work out that way.
Well, you do not want to go to where the homeowners are going. You don't want to
No, I
get over
don't,
there.
but I don't wanna have to do what we did last winter and go back and forth and back.
Well, hopefully that's not
Or
going to
being
happen
told
again.
that it's 33 degrees and raining and my employees can't sit there and let the truck idle because it's longer than 3 minutes. Because we can't go through that.
Read the idling.
I just was assuming that.
Read the idling laws.
You know what, write me a ticket.
No, I just said, read the idling laws,
Not that I can
because there's certain exceptions with certain equipment.
Okay, anything else?
Let's go.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you very much. Meeting is over. Say what?
We're all nervous with you, John, that's all.
Okay, Josephine, the meeting's over, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye. Good night.
Make a motion.
David, good night.
Well, no, I,
Yes.
Make a motion?
you know,
Make a motion to close the meeting.
I make a motion to close the meeting. Second?
Tim, could you second the motion?
oh, second, yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Meeting's closed.
Thank you.